it's time for the second bracket analysis, and I've brought in a couple of fellas. Why did I bring you guys in?
Well, we have great analysis on movies. First of all, we've watched many movies with you as well. From
Yes.
Movie marathons. We're both alums from the OCYG.
There it is, OCYG alums.
Okay, I'm Zane. I graduated in 2017 from the OCYG, and I'm at Harding University now.
And I'm Ryan Lusk. I graduated from the OCYG in 2018, so just a year after Zane. But yeah, I go to Lipscomb University now. I just finished sophomore year yesterday, so I'm a junior now. So
what we're going to do, the three of us, we're going to talk about the Savory side of the bracket because that's what's happening tomorrow. Let's start with the popcorn bracket. Shrek and Despicable Me, those are two similar franchises. What do you like here?
So for me personally, I think Shrek's going to have to take it. Overall, I enjoy Despicable Me. People love the Minions. People enjoy the culture of Despicable Me. But Shrek 2 as a standalone movie is one of the most phenomenal movies ever created in cinematic history. And I think standalone, just Shrek 2 should win this one by itself.
Okay, you guys think Marvel skates through the Avengers, makes it past Spider-Man?
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Avengers is going to go deep into this.
Yeah. I mean,
deep into this bracket.
And now, we're looking at this bottom little pod here with Indiana Jones, Dark Knight, Rocky, and Toy Story. Zane, tell us, who do you got coming out of here?
I have Dark Knight and Rocky winning, and Dark Knight coming out of that region. But that was by far the toughest region. Those are all four great movie franchises.
So, Zane, you've been saying, though, that a movie marathon for the youth group needs to be fun and funny and all this. Do you see that with Rocky over Toy Story? I mean, I guess I'm saying, what do you have against Toy Story, Zane?
I feel like going back into my youth group self, I felt like I was too old for Toy Story. Now, if I was watching it now, I think my mind would change.
Okay.
But as a high schooler, or a middle schooler, I think it would be different.
Ryan?
Although it is a great movie.
So I think I have Indiana Jones beating Dark Knight. Not because I want it to, but I think Indiana Jones is more fun. And I think we gotta go viewing in a youth group mindset. I want to watch fun movies. And so
you've got Indiana Jones and of course Toy Story.
So and this is the hardest one, and I think the entire head-to-head. I think this Rocky versus Toy Story is painful for me because I think Rocky is phenomenal, and it's almost convincing enough to beat Toy Story to me. But Toy Story, in and of itself, because of the culture of Disney, and especially with Disney Plus coming out, there has been a resurgence that I think we didn't have in high school, Zane, of Disney movies, Pixar movies especially, being something fun and almost cool to watch. I mean, I think the storyline of Forky in the fourth movie is awesome. And I would prefer to, at the end of the day, watch Toy Story over Rocky, although Rocky has changed my life for many reasons in my high school years.
Rocky did?
Rocky did.
I need to hear more.
So I was in 8th grade at Lipscomb Academy, and there is Gary Waller's boys only Bible class and Carol Witt's girls only Bible class.
Yeah,
Gary,
I've become a guest speaker, a guest teacher in that class the last 4 or 5 years.
That class is phenomenal. So Gary loves to, or Mr. Waller, Coach Waller is what we call him. He was very into showing us movies, and so we watched Hoosiers, the basketball movie, and then we watched 1 through 4 of the Rocky movies.
Wow!
And watching,
you can't stop after 3. I mean, you got to go fight the Russians.
We didn't watch 5 because it's that weird street fight.
Well, what's fun is I actually love number 5. I love number 5, and Tommy Gunn, of course, has one of the worst acting performances of all time. But the first 4 are quintessential,
and especially number 4 with the whole, America beating everyone else. Is a really special, and it's impactful, and being at Lipscomb Academy was a very cool moment. It was a very cool moment for me as an 8th grade boy. And so I have a special connection to Rocky now because of it.
In Rocky 4, that at the end, the Hearts on Fire montage where Drago is training for the final match in the technologically updated lab. And then you see him he's getting steroid treatments, and Rocky is training with rocks and he's running up hills and he's running away from the KGB, and he's lifting carts with his wife in it. That to me is one of the great movie montages of all time.
Oh, it's super impressive cinematically speaking.
In fact,
heart-tugging.
There's a chance in this video we're gonna play some of it down here in the bottom right-hand screen.
I would be so supportive of this happening.
I can't do it now, but if you could just imagine. Hearts on fire, strong desire, let us be within. You want to win a movie marathon tournament is what you want to do when you now. Hey, do you think the Creed movies have added to the franchise or taken away from it?
Definitely added.
I like it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Creed movies.
Yeah,
that was a Covenant group thing we did in high school.
Oh, your Covenant group watched the Creed movie.
My Covenant group went to go see Creed. Me and James Martin sat there together and watched Creed.
I love that. Now we drop down to the other half of the Savory bracket. Talk us through this bracket. Who wants to go first?
Okay, this is actually on my personal bracket. I went 8 for 8 in this region. What do I want to say? Definitely, High School Musical. I thought Cars would definitely win. I wasn't surprised at all by that one. I was surprised actually looking at the results that Fast and Furious and Santa Claus were so close.
Very close.
I was very surprised at that.
What did you think was going to be better? Like, which one did you think was going to win?
Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mainly because it's not Christmas time. I don't want to watch Christmas.
And I think I expected the Santa Claus movies to take a dip because it's not Christmas time. Okay, Jurassic Park and Thor.
Well, I love Thor, the character. I'm a big Avengers fan, obviously. But I actually have Jurassic Park winning here, mainly because Thor, the first one's just okay. The second, The Dark World's not very good. If we were just looking at Thor Ragnarok here.
Yeah, I was about to say Ragnarok is a phenomenal movie.
But as a franchise as a whole, Jurassic Park, I think, definitely wins that one.
And the last one. Does Lord of the Rings make it through the 2 seed?
Lord of the Rings. That was actually very interesting that those matched up just because C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, but Lord of the Rings.
Ryan, what do you think about this bracket here?
So let's just go down through it. We have High School Musical versus Cars. I think Cars wins. Now, I think the second – I do. I think the second Cars is the only reason it couldn't. But Cars 1 is so good. Life of the Highway by Rascal Flatts is just – it's a phenomenal thing. And I think people love High School Musical. People love to sing High School Musical. But what am I going to rather sit down and watch? If I could watch Cars 3, the amount of sports references tied in where he sticks his tongue out and it's a Michael Jordan reference, or he's the old car, the third one, and it's like Peyton Manning and those older quarterbacks having to leave and the new guys are showing up and Lamar Jacksons are showing up in the form of Cars. I think that is so cool. So I give Cars over High School Musical.
That's a hot take. That's a really hot take, Cars over High School Musical. Okay, keep going.
Fast and Furious versus Home Alone. I think I didn't even know there was more than 2 Home Alone movies. I had no idea till just now. So, I like Fast and Furious fine. I think most people haven't seen them.
Right.
I think most people, since there is so many, it's almost overwhelming. And it's not as appealing as like an Avengers. And so people just steer clear. So I think Home Alone takes it and then gets just demolished in the next round. But I think they get through one more.
Okay.
Jurassic Park versus Thor. I think Thor wins. If it was Jurassic World, I think Jurassic World would win. But because it is Park, I think Thor is more relevant to the youth group.
Well, now the Jurassic World movies are in this.
They are they in a separate? Are they in the other side?
No. It's part of the same franchise.
Now,
yeah.
I didn't take into consideration. This might change.
Yes. Yeah, the whole thing. It's part of the same franchise.
Okay. I think, and there's multiple reasons I think Thor still wins. I think because Ragnarok is so funny.
People love Ragnarok.
Love it. And even, is Ragnarok, where's the one where they're playing Fortnite and Thor is fat? Is that an Avengers? Is that Endgame?
That's Endgame.
Infinity? So I think people have seen that. And I think people are going to attribute that into their thought process, even though it's not part of the actual.
So
Thor.
it gets Fortnite mojo?
It gets Fortnite mojo. I mean, I know middle schoolers. I know they love Fortnite. I know I get asked to play Fortnite with middle schoolers frequently.
Okay.
And I've never played it. I don't know how. But I do know that Fortnite and funniness, which Thor has really capitalized on, them and what's the group of them? There's a raccoon in it.
Guardians, yeah.
Those two of the Marvel universe are really funny, and people love them. And I think that's gonna get Thor deep in there. And then my last pick, I'm a Chronicles of Narnia guy. I think it's taking it. Middle schoolers get bored watching Lord of the Rings. You have to have an intellectual thought process watching it, as where Chronicles of Narnia, besides just the God thing, which I think also take into account in a Christian youth group setting, people are gonna be like, "Well, Jesus is the lion," and like that's cool. So I think that gets it.
That's true.
Bump.
Yeah.
I mean, and I haven't even seen all the Lord of the Rings. I've seen the Hobbits. They're cool.
You haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies?
I just can't stay. They're like 2 hours long.
No, well, they're much longer than that. I think each one of the extended versions, which is what we'd be watching, let's be honest, I think they're 3+. I mean, I can't believe you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies, Ryan. I'm tempted to watch them now with you.
I'll mail them to you. You want them?
I've got them too. I've got the whole box set. I own them on Google Play and I own the DVDs.
Like that's awesome. And I probably should sit down and do it. I should. But I mean, if I had the choice of watching a feel good Toy Story or feel good, even Chronicles of Narnia, let's just say a feel good movie over a long, very deep intellectual movie, I'm going to choose the feel good every time.
I like that. I mean, you're making a great case. Ryan, you just picked 3 upsets in the soft pretzel region. And we almost convinced you to make it a clean sweep when we added Jurassic World in the mix. Is there no way we can convince you to go with 4 upsets?
I'm going to stick with Thor. I think middle schoolers are going to, and I think moms. I think you got to take into account, my mother finds Thor Ragnarok really funny. And it's on Netflix, so people can watch it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, it's so accessible, and it's just it's great. I like it. I think Thor gets it.
I just want to point out, me and Ryan picked exactly opposite on all 4 of those.
You did, yeah, because you had Home Alone, High School Musical, Jurassic Park, and Chronicles. I mean, Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's funny.
Fast and Furious. He had Home Alone.
Okay, so Zane.
I had Home Alone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Zane, have you given us a hot take? Is there a hot take yet?
I have Dark Knight in my final 4, and that's solely because that's my favorite trilogy of all time. Yeah. And I couldn't not put it at least that far.
Well, and I will say that my daughter, because it's your favorite, you said something about that the other day on online or in a text or something. She drove to your house and picked them up because she hasn't seen them. Madeline hadn't seen them, so our family's going to watch them. She brought them in the house. They've been sitting on the top of the refrigerator because we didn't want to wash them or to disinfect them. But we're gonna watch the Dark Knight Chronicles soon, and they are well made. So you think that makes it to the final 4? That's a hot take, though, not for this round.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my take, though, on Lord of the Rings. Why I think it deserves to move on is, in itself, it kind of is a what's the word here? A metaphor for what's going on right now.
That's right.
There's the big speech by Samwise Gamgee in the second movie, I believe, talking about how the darkness must pass, a new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out the clear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna happen. So that'll be perfect timing when all this ends to watch that scene. But I don't think it'll win, but I think it's a good one.
Okay, well, that's the Savory bracket. You two, thank you so much. As I started thinking through doing this and trying to update people, and I was like, man, I want to have you two guys on as OCYG alums.
Yeah.
And I don't know who my next guest will be, but thank you two so much for sharing in this. Any final words, anything you want to say, just looking forward to that sweet side of the bracket. We won't break it down today, but what's your favorite second round matchup from the sweet bracket?
I have my favorite. It's the hardest one to choose. Back to the Future versus Hunger Games.
Yeah,
it's gonna be almost championship level competition there.
I've got my eyes on that one.
Yeah.
I'm afraid Hunger Games is going to win it. Back to the Future is my favorite. So for me, Zane, Back to the Future is my Dark Knight. It's for me the best franchise of all time. But I just don't think it can beat Hunger Games. It might can. Depends on who votes.
I would vote for Back to the Future because of the nostalgia and because things like Stranger Things are all the rage right now.
I know. 80s.
Where did those come from?
I know.
80s. What's 80s? Back to the Future. I think there's a chance.
Yeah.
It's gonna have some good.
I need you to vote, Ryan. This is for you. So when it comes time to vote, Friday at 2 p.m., the vote begins. Get on and vote. Zane, pick somebody out of the suite. What matchup do you like from the second round?
The matchup I'm looking at the most is Night at the Museum versus Captain America. So because I really wanted to be able to put Night at the Museum farther. I love the Night at the Museum movies. But Captain America, I think, will go the farthest over all the Marvel franchises. I think it will go farther than Avengers because in itself, those three movies are incredible. But yeah, I could see Night at the Museum jumping it over almost any other thing in that region. So I don't disagree with that. Night at the Museum is so fun. You think Captain America is better overall than Avengers? And I'm not arguing the point. I love all three Captain America movies. I love them. But I, unlike most people, also really loved Age of Ultron. I really did. I found it really interesting. It's not a perfect movie, but for me, most people throw Ultron out as the weak spot in the Avengers saga, which is 4 movies. For me, it's really good. It's tough to pick between those two. My only thought would be Night at the Museum if it wins, or in the next round if something else beats Captain America, it would have as much to do with Avengers fatigue is what I would call it as anything else. But you would stand by Captain America as the best of the Marvel franchises. Yes, and we'll see. My big thing with the Avengers as a whole is, I'm on the take that Age of Ultron is just. It's a good movie, but it's just
people don't like it. It's okay. Yeah, it's not.
I've never heard good things. About it.
What makes Infinity War and Endgame so good is all the other movies leading up to them that you wouldn't watch if you're just watching those 4 movies.
Yeah, that's a great point, Zane. Nobody has made that point yet in all of our conversations, but that's a really, really good point. What will it feel like to go from Avengers to Ultron to Infinity War?
Right.
And you've skipped over all the stuff with the other Infinity Stones like the Guardians movies. Wow. I have thought about that before, but I haven't thought about it recently. That's fascinating. That's good.
And also with Captain America, you get Civil War where you get a lot of different characters.
Yeah, that's basically an Avengers movie.
Yeah. No, that really. So here's a question I have: Did the Otter Creek youth group staff ever have in the conversation, just even outside of a bracket conversation, would we watch all the Marvel movies in an order that would make it the most, I guess, like praising or help the Avenger movies make more sense in the proper? There's like an order I've seen on Twitter that is like the proper order to watch them in.
Yeah. You mean
is that a conversation?
Are you asking, have we considered doing a Marvel movie marathon?
A Marvel, yes. over just an Avengers marathon, or over just
yes.
a Iron Man.
Yes, we have thought about that. A few summers ago, we did a kind of Marvel marathon where we watched a few great Marvel movies, but we didn't really go crazy and watch it in the right order and do it awesome. We considered that, and for about 2 seconds, our team thought through this whole tournament and just decided that it didn't make sense to lump every Marvel movie and have it be one franchise, even though it is one franchise. And you look at Star Wars, and that's 9 plus the 2 prequels. You got 11 movies, and it's almost unfair for those 11 movies to stand as one franchise when you won't allow all the MCU movies to stand together. But at the same time, I think MCU is 22 or 23 movies in the first 3
double
phases?
the Star Wars.
Yeah, so it just felt unfair. And also not only unfair in terms of the voting, it felt like it was obviously going to be, too stacked. I mean, you got 4 movies that are 3 or 2 or 1 seeds who would be in one franchise, but it's also not fair to moms and dads to say our franchise is going to be a 30-hour franchise or more. I mean, it could have been a full 2 days. And someday, maybe the OCYG will do it. I dream of that, actually. Nathan Bennett and I used to talk about that at length on our walks to Chipotle on Wednesday nights, just dreaming about the best way to watch it, what you could drop out and what you would keep. And I was always of the opinion, you got to just watch it all, including the Hulk movie, which doesn't even have, Mark Ruffalo in it.
The 2008 Hulk movie?
Yeah, I think it's OA. Yeah. Which is not well loved. There's no Hulk franchise out there. Hulk was my favorite of the Avengers growing up. Actually, I dressed up as the Hulk probably 6 different times for Halloween as a kid. So
6 separate Halloweens you spent.
Probably. I was a pirate for a couple, but it was such a fun outfit to wear, to pick the clothes that I would rip and tear and cut and then wear as if I was too strong for it. It's just such a fun costume, green paint. Anyway, so Ryan, Zane, thank you. Thank you very much. You did it. Appreciate y'all taking time. Say goodbye to the OCYG, and then we'll cut this up and I'll put it online and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Bye. Thanks,
there you guys.
Keep voting.
That's right. Keep voting, baby.
Let's go.
Love you guys. See ya.
See ya.